Hi there, my name is Rudi. In this video I'm going to show you how to create and edit patterns. There are several ways to create patterns, but I'll show you only the easiest and most convenient way. So I've prepared a track with 5 2 bars long conga patterns, which will be our variations for a part. Let's listen to this. Okay, let's now open the Tentacle player and then pattern control. We could use one of the existing genres or styles, but let's just create a new one. So, new genre, give it a name, and map it to a MIDI key. Let's have a look to the other genres. They're set to C2 and C#2, so we could use D2, for example. Then we add a new style, give it a name, and map it to a MIDI key. I used to map the genres between C2 and B2, the styles between C3 and B3, and the parts between C4 and B4. So I can have 12 genres, 12 styles for each genre, and 12 parts for each style. You can use any division you like. It's just important that the ranges or individual keys don't overlap between genres, styles and parts. Once a MIDI key is used to map a genre, you cannot use the same key for a style, and so on, okay? So then, add a part, give it a name, map it to a MIDI key. Then let's have a look to this bar selector. We can set it to 1 or 2, which means that this particular part contains patterns that are 1 bar or 2 bars long. You can see in our MIDI track that the individual patterns are 2 bars long. In this example it is so because our patterns are based on the clave. So bar 2 is always slightly different to bar 1. If there are no principles like a clave involved, we could just create a lot of variations for a part with a length of 1 bar. Okay, we want to add 5 variations. Give them a name. Then let's see what beats mean. It's just the smallest division of notes for a bar. So 8 means 8th notes, 16 means 16th notes, and so on. Our pattern variations are in 8th notes. This is previously selected, so fine. Then we click this Learn from DAW button. When this is activated, pattern control is going to record the next variation from the DAW when playback is started. We set the cursor to the start of a variation, then start playback, and stop playback when the variation has been played. Now you can see an edit track in the pattern editor with 16 cells. This is 2 bars of 8th notes. If the cells are light gray, they have a MIDI note assigned. If they're dark gray, then they're blank. You can see the assigned MIDI note when you click a cell and watch the key edit field. The same is for velocity and the length fields. You can set the values for the selected cell as you like. Just enter a MIDI note number or use the plus and minus buttons. Let's listen to the recorded variation. Just click on the test button of the variant section. Fine. Now let's repeat the same thing for the rest of the variations. There is something special with the last variation. When we have a close look, we'll see that it has some 8th triplets in it. So we're not getting anywhere with a division into 8th notes. We'll have to see what is our lowest common denominator and use this value. Here we'll have to use 24, so we can cover 8th nodes and 8th triplets together in one variation. Then we'll record the pattern. As you can see now, there are lots of blank cells in this track. And this is due to our needed subdivision of 24 beats per bar, but it'll play fine. Now let's see the probability settings. The probability value is automatically set to 1 for the first variation and 0 to the rest, which means that only the first variation is going to be selected. We don't want it that way, so we'll have to change the settings. Let's just set a probability of 0.2 or 20% to each of the variations, so they're evenly distributed, and that should work fine. Now, if the sum of all probabilities within this part is lower than 1, the background color of the label switches to blue. So this color can guide you a little bit. When the sum is back to exactly 1, it'll change to green again. And if the sum is greater than 1, like now, the background color becomes red. The sum of probabilities should always be exactly 1, otherwise you risk that some of the variations will never be selected, or that a non-existing variation is selected and you don't hear anything. Okay, let's just test the part. Note that the selected variations vary according to the laws of random numbers and of course the probability value. So that's it. I hope this video could be of help. See you next time.